the places they'll go. The YCL team headed to Yolo County to climb aboard an adventure like no other. Let's take a look. Up, up, and away.
Going to Yolo Ballooning Adventures to get in a hot air balloon. I'm going over my scripts right now. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Come join us.
So all of these small lines activate two different types of vents on this parachute. So we have a round red line, which we pull down, pulls the parachute down evenly inside the balloon, opens up a gap around the perimeter of this vent, which allows me to vent heat out.
This morning, we're keeping our head in the clouds. We're in the beautiful western hills of the Sacramento Valley in Yolo County, where we're going to overlook the scenic views from a hot air balloon. Let's go up, up, and away. Mike, how high up are we right now?
Currently we're about 800 feet, and our typical flight is about 1,500 feet and below, but we can go as high as 6,000 feet if we needed it.
And we had to get up pretty early for this, right before sunrise. Why do you do your flight so early in the morning?
So the reason balloons fly early in the morning is because it's when the temperatures are at their coolest and winds are at their calmest. It obviously gets warm in the Central Valley. We want to make sure that we're flying during that cool part of the day. It also makes it more enjoyable for our guests.
Tell us about Yolo Ballooning Adventures and what makes you guys so unique.
So the unique thing about Yolo Ballooning Adventures is that we're a small company. We want to stay that way. It allows us to provide intimate experience and personalized attention to each one of our guests.
And what can guests expect to see during the flight?
There's a lot of variety of crops in the area. So some of our annual crops that we'll get to see are tomatoes and sunflowers, watermelons. We have a ton of orchards in the area. So we have almonds and walnuts, different fruit trees. So it's going to vary depending on the time of the year that you fly, but it's always beautiful, and that's one of the great adventures of flying out in Yolo County.
How do you fly a hot air balloon?
Well, we add heat to the balloon to climb, and I have various ropes behind me here which we can use to vent the heat out of the balloon to start a descent. Navigating a balloon is riding wind currents, so they can change speed and direction at different altitudes, and as a balloon pilot I ride a combination of those wind currents to navigate to a downwind landing site.
What are hot air balloons made of?
So we have various types of material in the balloon. All of them are nylon. So we have a ripstop nylon and also a Dacron material. They're all high strength nylon meant specifically to hold up to heat, UV, and all the other stresses that are required for hot air balloons to be able to withstand.
Right. And how long does a balloon flight normally last?
So our typical flight is going to be about an hour. On the low end, about 45 minutes. On the high end, about an hour and 15. And that's going to be determined by two things: our landing site availability as well as our fuel consumption. Most of our flights end up an hour dead on.
What should people wear when they go on one of these balloon flights?
So it's very important that our guests pay attention to their confirmation email. So you're going to give them the information to make sure they don't wear open-toed shoes, so no sandals, no high heels. We want to make sure that their feet are nice and stable, and we want to make sure that they dress in layers. So it's typically going to be cooler in the morning, and we have the beautiful sunrise we get to watch as we fly, and we want to make sure that if they get a little bit warm, they have the ability to shed layers.
How many passengers can join in on a hot balloon adventure?
So we have 3 balloons. The largest one can carry up to 10 passengers. So we have 2, 6, and 10 passenger balloons. We do fly multiple balloons depending on the time of the year, but if we had groups larger than 10 with advanced reservation, we can absolutely accommodate them.
Have you had any proposals on here, Mike? A little engagement proposals possibly?
We have. We do quite a few of them. They're definitely one of my favorites. So far we've had yeses on every proposal, and hopefully we keep it that way.
Yeah. So how can folks make a reservation?
So there's two ways to make a reservation with us. They can call our office, it's 530-662-8867, or they can visit our website, balloonyolo.com. They can choose how many guests they want to reserve with, look at some of our frequently asked questions, or talk to our reservation staff.